Storm Tracker 6. This is Forecast First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
Good evening, everyone. We're seeing those temperatures across the quad cam into the 90s, 93 degrees in Lansing and Grand Ledge. We're looking at 91 in Jackson, 92 degrees in Hillsdale. The dew points, though, into the 70s, almost the mid 70s across the board, which means our feels like temperatures, our heat indices are going to be rather high. That's why we have this heat advisory in effect until Monday at 8 p.m. and an extreme heat warning for higher heat indices across the area. As we head into the satellite radar, not a cloud in the sky. We're going to continue to see those clear skies for the next couple of hours and into tomorrow morning. Temperatures, though, are very warm for tonight and tomorrow morning. All the full details coming up in just a little bit. 6 News at 6 starts right now.
WLNS is here for you, celebrating 75 years of bringing you the news with 6 News at 6.
The world is on edge tonight after the United States joined the conflict in the Middle East. It's our top story at 6. Thanks for joining us. I'm Rachel Ramsey. What began as a regional standoff has now escalated into direct conflict involving Israel, Iran, and the United States. American stealth bombers and Israeli warplanes have struck deep inside Iran, targeting nuclear facilities. Sydney Sutliff is here for you now with more on the conflict and what some Michigan officials are saying about it.
The escalation in a conflict that's been building for months between Iran and Israel now involves the United States, and many fear this was not the end. Here's what we know so far. Overnight, the United States and Israel launched their most aggressive military campaign in over a decade, striking Iran's nuclear infrastructure and missile sites in what officials are calling a preemptive defensive action. Still, tensions are rising. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth confirmed American assets in the Gulf are on high alert, as are Michigan politicians, including Governor Gretchen Whitmer, who took to a Facebook post saying in a statement, in part, quote, "My top priority is the safety and the security of people of Michigan." She continued on saying that she was in contact with the National Guard and the state police, adding, quote, "We are monitoring things closely and taking steps to keep Michiganders safe." Another political official, U.S. Senator Elissa Slotkin, asked a question in her Facebook statement, first explaining that she expects a full and classified briefing on the war in Iran, urgently including strategy and different plans, saying in part, quote, "The real question is what happens the day after? A strike can have major repercussions for both safety and stability across the region." She continued on to say later in her Facebook post, "This is exactly why our founders built a role for Congress on issues of war and peace, to ensure questions of real consequences are answered before the American men and women are engaged in war." Analysts warn the conflict could widen quickly. Iran's allied militias like the Houthis in Yemen and Hezbollah in Lebanon are signaling readiness to join the fray, potentially opening multiple fronts against both Israel and the U.S. Meanwhile, diplomatic efforts are underway. The Biden-Trump transition team has reportedly urged calm behind the scenes.
But if peace does not come quickly, we will go after those other targets with precision, speed, and skill. Most of them can be taken out in a matter of minutes. There's no military in the world that could have done what we did tonight, not even close. There has never been a military that could do what took place just a little while ago.
But with rockets flying and nuclear tensions at their highest in years, the path to peace appears more fragile than ever. There will be continued coverage on this conflict, so stay tuned on air and online at WLNS.com. Back to you, Rachel.
Thank you, Sydney. U.S. Senator Gary Peters also responded to the United States bombing nuclear sites in Iran. He said that he has always been clear on his stance that Iran should never have a nuclear weapon, but the senator feels President Trump's withdrawal from an agreement to avoid military force on Iran sped up the country's progress toward nuclear capabilities. He said that President Trump, quote, "made the decision to take military action without congressional approval, and the consequences rest squarely on his shoulders." Well, a gunman opened fire at a church service this morning, injuring a security guard who would then go on to shoot and kill the gunman. Police say it happened around 11 a.m. at Cross Point Community Church in the city of Wayne, near Detroit. The church's pastor says a church member ran the 31-year-old suspect over with his truck, giving the security guard time to shoot him. The guard was shot in the leg and no one else was hurt. The pastor says there were 150 people attending the service. Officials are investigating and say it's too early to know why the suspect attacked this church. A mid-Michigan nonprofit is helping young adults conquer their anxiety and shape their well-being through the power of horses. Taryn Simmons visited the farm and shares more about the program. Taryn?
Rachel, Frankie's Corner Little Thoroughbred Crusade offers Michiganders young and old an opportunity to step into the equine world. The program allows people to build up their confidence by bonding with the horses. A big goal for the people involved is making sure everyone feels included in the equine community and give opportunities to everyone regardless of their background or where they're from. The group meets every Sunday, and one of the owners, Dr. Atomia Farrell, says they break down myths about horses and teach their students how to lead. Farrell says horses heal people mentally and spiritually. She also says they work with people from underrepresented communities, especially Black and brown people, who she says aren't often seen in the equine community.
Underrepresented populations, one, they look at horses and the work that we do and think it's very expensive, and it can be, but it also is a lot of life lessons that the young people can learn. So we think it's important that we have programs like this so that young people can come out and that we build up their confidence and give them the courage and show them that they can be a part of the industry too.
Stick with 6 News at 11 p.m. We'll hear from some of those students about how the program teaches them how to handle their anxiety through personal growth and confidence. Rachel, back to you.
Thank you, Taryn. The Meridian Township Police Department has some training exercises beginning soon, and officials are giving the public a heads up so no one is alarmed. Starting tomorrow, the department will train at the former Wardcliff Elementary building in Okemos. No Okemos staff will be in the building during the training, and there will be signs posted along the property reminding people of this. The department will use the building for these exercises all week, with the last day of training happening on Friday, June 27th. So if you drive by that area and see a large police presence, remember that it is just a planned training, not an emergency situation. And June is Gun Violence Safety Awareness Month, and the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services is offering resources to protect people from firearm injuries. The department reports that this type of injury is the #1 cause of death for children in the U.S. Officials say there will be free gun locks available at MDHHS county offices while supplies last. The department's chief medical executive says, quote, "Firearm injuries are preventable, and everyone has a role to play in preventing these tragedies." She continued on to say gun violence is a public health crisis that affects the well-being and safety of all Michigan residents, which is why Michigan is taking a strong public health approach to addressing this issue.
From Storm Tracker 6, this is Weather First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
Well, if you were outside today, it was a warm one out there. We're going to continue to see that heat advisory in effect until 8 p.m. on Monday. We're going to continue to see some very warm temperatures in the forecast for the next couple of days. This is a butterfly in Grand Ledge sent in to us by Jennifer Farr. If you're out there, they're probably going to need watering those flowers, and maybe you'll see a butterfly here or there too in your garden as well. If you want your pictures featured every night on our evening show, you can send it into our website, WLNS.com/share, and your picture could be featured if you send it in. Now let's get back to our weather alerts. We're looking at this orange color, and that is our heat advisory. The purplish color is an extreme heat warning. That's for those heat index values up to 105 degrees. Now this heat advisory is until Monday at 8 p.m. So we're still going to see some very warm temperatures in the forecast moving into the next couple of days. Taking a look at our high temperature trend, yes, they've moved down just a little bit, but we're still into the 90s regardless. We're looking at 95 degrees for Monday, 90 for Tuesday, 85 for Wednesday as a cold front moves through, and then we're still back into the 90s by the end of the week. So this heat isn't going anywhere anytime soon. On top of that, we're going to have some very high dew points up into the 70s and upper 70s, much like today. So very hot and humid, oppressive as you walk outside, very sticky and very gross outside in my opinion. We're We're going to continue to see those heat indices into the 80s for tonight. Then as we head into the day tomorrow, we're going to be back up into the upper 90s for heat indices. That's that combination of our dew point and our temperature, making it feel like we're into the 90s at times. So as we head into Monday, we'll continue to see the temperatures into the 80s or Monday night, but then you can see off to our west, that is going to be that cold front moving in. So we'll see some relief as we head into some of Tuesday. Let's take a look at our Capital Cam and our Skyview network. Beautiful sunshine. Temperatures though very warm. Dew points into the 70s, making us feel like 99 degrees into the capital. Grand Ledge, we're still seeing those temperatures into the 90s, 97 degrees, 76 degree dew point, 111 dew point. That's our feels like temperature out there. Very hot. So if you're outside, make sure you're getting yourself a drink and staying hydrated throughout the rest of the night. Still seeing 98 degrees on our dew point into Jackson. And we're going to continue to see those temperatures into the 90s and 100s for our heat indices into even Hillsdale. This is all because we have an area of high pressure sitting right overhead as acting like a heat dome. And we're really going to continue to see these dry conditions as we head into the next couple of days. And we're also going to continue to see our temperatures tonight back into the 70s. And for tomorrow, we'll see them back into the 90s. So it's going to be still hot and humid each and every day this week. We still have that one red weather aware day for tomorrow, and then we have the chance for some showers and storms moving into the forecast as we head into the end of the week.
Okay, so stay safe out there for a little bit longer.
Yes.
What was up with that Grand Ledge, Cam?
I think so. It's on a granary bin, so it's like shaking. So yeah,
that was funny.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kelsey, for the update.